Insecurity is the state of uncertainty or anxiety about oneself identity, one's self image. Insecurity is a sign of lack of confidence and lack of self identity. I'm going to go out on a limb and say you have felt insecure in your life before. A lot of us have. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to try and close yourself from or even try and deny. Because denial will always tell you that you don't have a problem when you really do have a problem. But something that you really need to understand about insecurity is that insecurity is learned. You're not born insecure. You have experienced things in your past that have made you insecure. You have undergone certain changes in your life that have made you insecure. And sometimes it's overwhelming for us. Sometimes these past experiences, these new environmental stimulus that comes our way can be very overwhelming on our subconscious mind. And so it makes us react in a way where we doubt our self-identity. We doubt who we really are. You may, start to doubt, where you come from. And at the end of the day, really, these things comprise of who you are. So if you're doubting them, if you're in a state of uncertainty of these things, my friend, you are insecure. So if you want to learn how to get over your insecurity and really just start living the life you've always wanted to live, the life where you can be charismatic, the person that enters the room and everybody just feels drawn to them, the person that enters the business environment and just wins all the clients, everything that you've always dreamed of, then I want you to watch this video, be attentive, take notes, and make sure you really suck in every single thing that I'm saying in this video, because I believe it will benefit you to the nth degree. So before I tell you exactly how to overcome your insecurities, I want to give a quick shout out to my personality quiz. If you want to know exactly what your personality is, then just go down to the link in the description below, enter your details, answer the questions as honestly as possible, have fun, and just, explore yourself. You might learn something new about yourself that you never really knew. And if you want to speak directly to me on my website, then just go down, click the contact us, fill in the form. It's really simple. It's really easy. And yeah, let's crack into this video. So we all have insecure, self-conscious moments. And that is something you can't avoid. All right. We've gone through certain things in our lives that have made us feel insecure, self-conscious in places where we're outside of our comfort zone, in places where we don't feel safe, in places where we're surrounded by people that we see as better than us. We've all experienced these insecure moments. I experience insecure moments. The richest person on earth experiences self-conscious moments. The most handsome man or woman out there experience self-conscious moments. It is not something that is not human, because really, if you've experienced life, if you've gone through life and you've been through certain points in your life where you felt your lowest, your highest, whatever it is, you will have certain experiences. And these past experiences that you've gone through accumulate to you drawing certain conclusions about yourself and your self-identity, which may lead to you drawing the conclusion that you aren't good enough, you're too fat, you're too ugly, you're too whatever, depending on whatever you've experienced in your past. And this may lead to you feeling insecure. The first step you have to take, and this is something we all have to do, is whenever you're feeling insecure or self-conscious, I want you to say it, label it. Say, I'm feeling really, really insecure right now. I feel really self-conscious. I feel like I'm in my head right now. So basically, when we label something, especially when it comes to our feelings, our emotions, we tend to accept it. All right. When you label it, when you say that I am feeling anxious, you accept it as a part of you, not you, but you accept it as a part of you. In psychology, this is called affect labeling. And this is basically when you accept it, label it, and you move on. You grow from it. So labeling it or labeling your insecurity or your insecure moments is important because of this. Number one, you separate yourself from your insecurity. So instead of being this anxious melting pot, this fearful ball of whatever you are, you are something separate from whatever is plaguing you at that moment. You are not your insecurity. You label your insecurity, so you separate it from who you are, from your self-identity. A lot of us, we've accepted our insecurities as who we are, and that isn't true. Our insecurities are something that we've learned, not something that we are born with, not something we are. So instead of being an insecure person, you just become a person who's feeling insecure. And this is powerful. When you say, I am feeling insecure right now, you are basically using two buzzwords, and that is I. I creates a self-identity. When you say I, you creating or you separating yourself from whatever you're feeling and who you are. I am a person. Insecurity is a feeling. And the second buzzword is feeling. When you say I am feeling insecure or I am feeling self-conscious, you're giving your mind the idea that this isn't permanent. You just feel it in the moment. You're feeling insecure when you enter the gym because you have weight problems. You may feel like people are looking at you. You're feeling insecure when you go and meet new people because you feel like you aren't charismatic enough. You aren't tall enough. You aren't good looking enough. You're not whatever enough. You are feeling this, but it isn't permanent. Number two, you befriend yourself. You have some self-compassion. Because you, my friend, are feeling these emotions and you say that you're feeling these emotions, you end up being lighter on yourself. A lot of us, we fall into the trap of whenever we feel insecure, whenever we feel anxious, whenever we feel scared, and this counts for anything, we end up beating ourselves down and making ourselves feel worse. Oh, I feel insecure right now. Why do I feel insecure? Why am I so stupid? Why am I so fat? And you beat yourself down. When you claim that, or when you say that you are feeling insecure right now, I'm feeling just so self-conscious. I actually don't know how to react right now. I feel just scared, plain old scared and anxious. I feel this way right now. You are telling yourself that, hey, although I feel this way, although it's not me, it's okay to feel this way because everybody feels it. The richest person, the most handsome person, whatever it is, everybody feels these emotions sometimes. Stop judging your insecure moments. It's okay to feel insecure. Everybody has an insecurity because they've experienced life. All right. The only people that don't have insecurities are like little kids, like infants or toddlers, because they haven't experienced life and they probably don't know how to walk or talk. All right. But everybody has an insecurity. Everybody. It may be non-physical, like your audience. Maybe you are a business and you don't have enough customers and you feel like your product sucks or whatever it is. It may be physical, like you are overweight or you have bad acne or whatever it is. You're short, you're too tall or whatever it is. I mean, a lot of people, you would be surprised about their insecurities. A really interesting example was a friend of mine. He does a lot of bodybuilding, a lot of weightlifting, and basically, he was always around people that did the same thing. All right. He read my book. He knew about how to build your social circle. And if you want to watch that same video that he probably watched, just go down to the link in the description. I will link it down on how to build your own social circle or how to build your friend group in order to lead you to success. But anyway, he actually hung out around all the people that were bigger than him, that lifted bigger weights than him, that could bench 2 times the amount of weight that he could bench. And the more he hung around those people, because he looked at people that were better than him, more dedicated than him, that had more time to build, they were buffer than him, they were bigger than him, they had bigger muscles. And so he felt insecure about his muscle size. And to the normal guy or to the normal man, he was like huge compared to the normal man. But to his friends, to his friend group, he was insecure because he was the smallest guy there. And, they teased him for that. They're like, hey, why don't you bench a bit harder? Why don't you work a bit harder for your muscles, for your abs, whatever it is. And he felt insecure. And that's very interesting because my friend literally had, he was toned, he had muscles and everything, but he felt insecure about it. That's very interesting, isn't it? And that leads me to the next point. Most people don't even notice you're insecure. Most people don't even notice your insecurities. I had a friend that was very insecure about the size of his nose. And yet nobody, literally nobody in school, nobody outside of school noticed the size of his nose. I had a friend that was a girl. She was very insecure about the size or her height because she always felt that people were always whoa, this girl is 6'3" or whatever. And she was very scared. But, she realized that runway models are really tall as well and very skinny and very model-esque. The reason why we feel insecure sometimes is because we believe that people are judging us constantly. And my friend, that isn't true. I told you I think I spoke about her in my last video or the video before that. I had a friend, her name was Amanda, and she was very insecure about her weight, her size. And she wasn't even that fat. Really, she was average, but she was scared that she was way too fat. And this led to her having a eating or a dietary problem. She literally used to starve herself. And the reason being because she felt like she was abnormally fat and she got anorexic. She didn't want to eat in front of people. She felt insecure in the gym. She didn't want to go in gym because she felt that people were looking at her and judging her like, why are you here? You're so fat. Really, she wasn't. She was average. And so she started being very anxious, very scared in public. She stopped eating and she's way better now. She's way better now. She's actually loving herself more. She's taking more care. But these insecurities really eat at our brain. They might even be fatal. Whenever you label that you're feeling scared, your insecurity, whenever you're self-compassionate, whenever you say, look, I'm anxious right now, I'm scared, I'm insecure, I'm self-conscious, and that's fine, you are basically telling yourself that it's okay. And secondly, once you acknowledge it, you feel less alone. Once you acknowledge that everybody has an insecurity, everybody is scared of something, you will feel less alone. You'll feel more embraced. Your heart will feel less isolated. You're not going to be an island by yourself. You'll be a part of the group. And when you say it to yourself and you become self-compassionate, it becomes as though you're with somebody and they're caring about you. And they say, hey, look, I know you're self-conscious. I know you're anxious. I know you're insecure, but that's okay. That's fine. Number 3, once you announce that you are feeling self-conscious, when you are feeling insecure, I want you to realize that this is bravery. You are literally facing reality. Only brave people can face reality and not run away from it. Only someone with integrity can admit the reality of their suffering. Instead of just standing there and suffering from your insecurity, you are being brave by going out there and saying, look, I do feel anxious. I feel scared. And very interestingly enough, when you say these things, when you say you feel self-conscious, when you say you feel fearful, whenever you feel these things and you say it out loud, you end up feeling less scared, less self-conscious, less fearful. Try it out. I mean, if you don't believe me, try it out. Go out of your comfort zone, do something you're afraid of. And when you feel self-conscious, when you feel anxious, already by doing something outside of your comfort zone immediately grows bigger. So you'll be able to do more things outside of your comfort zone or your previously boundaries set by your comfort zone. And you will feel less insecure, less self-conscious. It's simple. When you admit it, especially if you have a huge ego, you are admitting something that isn't necessarily aligned with what you think or what you believe other people see. If you picture yourself as the perfect human being, you picture yourself as James Bond, the coolest person on earth because of your huge ego, and you feel anxious, you feel anxiety, you feel insecure, this will go against what you previously thought you were. This means that you will be having to admit something that's difficult, something that may be a bit out of line of what you think you are. The reality is, and this is very important, so listen carefully, insecurity is not the problem. The problem is denial. When you deny that you feel insecure, you're really fighting those feelings back into your mind, back into your subconscious. And this means that you end up making it grow, become bigger and worse. So, where does your insecurity come from? I want you to realize something important. Insecure people are made, not born. You learn how to become insecure from past experiences. You are not born into this world as an insecure person. There is no such thing as an insecure baby, all right? An insecure infant, an insecure child, baby, whatever it is. There's no such thing as a person who's born insecure. You aren't born and, hey, I'm insecure about the way I look. That doesn't happen. You go through some type of trauma, some type of past experience that makes you feel insecure. So the first place that your insecurity might come from is your insecurity stemming from a past failure or a recent rejection. 40% of our happiness quotient, the amount of happiness we feel, is based on recent events. Which means if you get a promotion today, you will feel happier immediately. It's not like your past will make you happy if you get a promotion today. And this means that your unhappiness or your anxiety affects your self-esteem. Those with lower self-esteem, those with lower self-confidence tend to be very reactive to failure. If you want to know exactly how to overcome failure, just watch my video on how to overcome failure. I'll link it in the description below. And if you want to learn how to overcome this feeling of failure, because that's something that kills a lot of us, that brings us down, kills our self-esteem, then go to the link in the description below and check out my article on my website. Number 2, the second place your insecurity could come from is your lack of confidence in social environments. A lot of us feel anxious in certain social environments. It could be a party, groceries, mall, family gatherings, church, whatever it is. A lot of us can feel very anxious in places where we have a lot of people. And in our head, we have voices that tell us, hey, these people are judging you. These people are telling you you aren't good enough. These people are looking at your flaws, whatever it is. But we need to understand that our anxiety or our insecurity or our self-conscious moments stem from this social anxiety. The fear of being judged by other people, the fear of other people looking at you then like less than, makes you feel anxious, makes you feel self-conscious about your appearance or whatever it is. It's kind of like when you do something bad that you shouldn't have and you meet everybody and everybody seems suspicious of you. I don't know if you experience this, but if you've done something that you shouldn't have, everybody ends up, seeming kind of like they onto you, like they know what you did, and you're kind of anxious, you feel guilty, and that's the same thing. If you are insecure, you feel like you're being judged by other people. You feel like they're onto you. They can see past your makeup. They can see your acne. They can see your body weight. They can see your height. They can see how you are very low when you speak, or how you, whatever it is, they can see these things. Really, they can't, because everybody's all bombarded by their own insecurities. So because you feel like everybody is judging you, because you feel like everybody's looking at your insecurities, you will make going to social places a negative experience for you. And this means that whenever you go through something negative in your life, your brain will automatically not want to be in those areas. Your brain will not want to do anything in those negative areas or negative places you've been to. So when a negative experience is created whenever you go to social parties, gatherings, it will affect your social life. You will not feel comfortable in these environments. Past experiences feed your sense of not belonging. It feeds your sense of not feeling important enough or not feeling enough in general. Many of my BUB Cool members that actually contact me on my website tell me stories about how they used to be bullied, how they used to be excluded from groups, and how 10, 20 years down the line, it still affects their lives every single day. Even if you grew up with parents that are too critical of who you are, parents that try to push you for ultimate success, they've always wanted the A grade, they want you to be popular, whatever it is, you may be very insecure about what other people think about you. And this is because these sources of authority in your life, your parents, have told you that you have to be liked by people. You have to get the A grade in order to be loved. You have to whatever. And you end up feeling like you need something from these people. And that will make you scared about what they think about you. You'll feel insecure about every aspect of your life. And something you really need to realize is that most of the time, other people are so consumed by how they are being perceived by other people. They aren't really focused on who you are. They're not out there looking for, hey, let's see that person has extra acne on their face. Or let's see that person who's really short. Or let's see that person who isn't as intelligent as their classmates. Let's look for these people. No one's doing that, all right? No one is doing that. The third place your insecurity comes from is insecurity from perfection. Some of us have the highest standards for everything we do in our life. We want the highest grade, the perfect job, the perfect partner. We want the most money, whatever it is. We always have the highest standards that we never reach. So we feel insecure. We feel bad about not reaching these unreachable standards. If you find yourself constantly blaming other people or yourself for not reaching these unreachable standards, for not being anything less than perfect, then you will start feeling unworthy. You'll start feeling worthless. You'll start feeling insecure. I'm going to tell you something. Perfectionism isn't healthy. Psychologically, it is not healthy. Beating yourself up constantly and worrying about not being perfect enough will lead to anxiety, fear, and even depression. So, my friend, I'm gonna go through really quickly the 5 habits of highly insecure people. If you have some of these habits, I want you to know it's okay. Don't judge yourself. Don't deny that you have these problems, but don't judge yourself. Number 1, criticizing or judging others. A lot of insecure people are gossipers, people that judge other people. And the reason why they do this is because when they point out or they laugh at someone else's shortcomings, oh, this person is fat, or this person is ugly, have you seen their hair, have you seen their makeup, whatever it is, when they point and laugh at these people, they are feeling, or they make themselves feel better inside. And really, that isn't the case. In fact, they are insecure. There was a person that contacted me on my website, and this person said, I used to be a very staunch or a very intense gossiper. I used to gossip about every single person. I would meet them, shake their hand, and gossip about them immediately. And I asked her why she used to do this. And she said because she felt like it made people want to be more interested in her. Whenever she would meet a new friend group, she would gossip about someone and they would laugh and they would all have fun. So she felt like these people were actually interested, like she had something good to say. And at the end of the day, this shows or reflects her self-esteem. It shows how she looks at herself. So I'm working with her in order to overcome that. The second habit of highly insecure people is never standing up for themselves, never standing up for what they believe in, being pushed around by other people. And I will make a video on people pleasers and whatever it is, but being pushed around by other people show that you want their validation. You want them to say, oh, he's cool because he always says yes, or she's cool because she always takes out projects. You never say no. You never stand up for yourself. And at the end of the day, this is detrimental because in your mind, you want them to think you're cool. You want them to think you're fine, but you're not really reflecting how you really feel. You're not being congruent. If you don't want to take that project up, say no. If you feel like this person is going past their boundaries with you, tell them that. Say, hey, this is where you don't cross and don't ever cross this. Otherwise, you won't have me in your life. So the third habit that highly insecure people have is constantly looking for reassurance from other people. You're telling yourself, hey, I'm cool, I'm interesting, but you don't really believe yourself. So you're constantly trying to dress well or trying to jump on trends or trying to do whatever to try and, look for that validation, that reassurance from other people when really you're not doing a service to yourself. And here's what happens. You will do something like, for instance, you put a new hairstyle, right? And instead of being okay with that, saying I'm enough and I'm cool enough to rock it, you will literally go to people and be like, hey, is my hair nice? Is it nice? So because they're constantly going to be trying to reaffirm your ego, they'll be wasting energy and they won't want to be around you. Your brain does not want to waste energy on things that don't matter. And for most people, being constantly reassured by people, wanting compliments, you looking for compliments from other people becomes really draining. And at the end of the day, it may feel good in the moment. You may feel, hey, this person told me I look good. Haha, yeah. But it becomes a habit. And so your self-esteem or your insecurities increase. Your self-esteem goes down because you're constantly looking for validation from outside of people. If you want to check out my video on how to stop looking for external validation, click the link in the description below. It will help you 100 times more than you think. The fourth habit of highly insecure people is constantly blaming other people, never taking self-responsibility for their actions. You're constantly looking to blame the next person when it is really your fault. I had a friend who actually took his parents' car in the dead of night. He drove it out to the club and he crashed it and he wrecked it completely. And he was coming to me. He was like, yo, AJ, how do I apologize? How do I say I'm sorry for this? And I was like, the first thing you always say when you apologize to people is you say you take full responsibility. There's nothing more that an employer or teacher, a parent, whatever it is, hates more than somebody who doesn't take responsibility for what they've done. You have to really say, look, I take full responsibility for what I've done. I've crashed the car. I've messed up and I understand that. I take full responsibility and I am so sorry for that. That will get you what you want. That will get you that empathy. All right. But you need to take full responsibility in your life. Insecure people believe that their self-worth as a person goes down the more mistakes they make. If you're an insecure person, you may believe that if you make mistakes, your self-worth will go down, when really that isn't the case. We all make mistakes. High self-esteem people make mistakes. Low self-esteem make more mistakes than that. Thus, they tell themselves that their experiences, their mistakes are never their own fault. They're always looking for someone else to take the blame. They're scared to get off the pedestal that they believe they are in other people's lives. The fifth habit of highly insecure people is being excessively negative or excessively positive. Excessive positivity is denial in fancy clothing. It becomes a distraction from what's really happening in your reality. Excessive negativity is just being a loser in the mask of being a nihilist or being realistic. When you're constantly negative, it will make you repel people in your life. When you're constantly positive, it will take away the trust that other people have in you. Otherwise, they'll be like, whoa, why are you so fake? Because you are being fake. There are bad things that happen in life every single day. And if you're constantly positive, you're just distracting yourself from these things. And when you're being constantly negative, you are just also distracting yourself from the good things that happen in life. And when you have both of these emotions, you're really pushing away the trust of other people, and you're really putting on a mask, a fake mask to the world. So now the moment you've all been waiting for, the actual tips and tricks I have for you, although there aren't any tricks, on how you can get rid of your insecurity for the rest of your life. The first thing you have to do is say the statement. And I'm going to read it from my notebook because it's very important you understand, and you actually, if you can, go and get a piece of paper, write this down, and say this whenever you feel anxious. I feel insecure right now, and that's just fine. In fact, I love myself for it. I love myself the same whether I'm anxious or whether I'm confident. It doesn't matter to me because I love myself. What you're doing in this powerful statement is you're separating yourself from feeling anxiety, and you're telling yourself, no matter how I feel, no matter who I am, no matter where I am or where I'm at, I love myself. And once you've admitted it, I want you to go to the next step. I want you to realize or put it into your mind that nobody cares. No one cares about when you're anxious. No one cares about when you're insecure. Nobody walks around looking for insecure people. Nobody cares when you are feeling self-conscious because everyone else is in the position where they're always feeling anxious, self-conscious, insecure. And a lot of us, what we tend to do is we look for little hidden things that aren't really there. If we take the case of Amanda, she wouldn't go to the gym because she felt like people were looking at her, judging her, even though nobody was, but she'd always look for that person that's looking at her a bit too long, or that person that is really just like making a weird face whenever she exits. You're looking for things that aren't there. There's freedom in that. There's freedom in the fact that no one cares. Because now you can really work on getting over your insecurity without feeling insecure. Number 3, surround yourself with people that love you and care about you. If you have a toxic friend group that's always pointing out your flaws and your insecurities, let go of them. Move away from them. Number 4, joke about it. Humor is a great antidote to insecurity. Grab that fat, flabby stomach and jiggle it around and laugh about how fat it is. All right, I know it may seem weird, but when you are very insecure and you aren't even laughing about it, you're not having a good time about it. You know, I'm too short. So what? Wear high heels. If you're dude, wear high heels. You know, screw it. I mean, at the end of the day, some of your insecurities aren't necessarily insecurities. They're just features that make you more attainable. If you get what I mean. Laugh at yourself once in a while. It takes away that idea, that ego that says, I have to be perfect all the time. When you laugh at yourself, you are not James Bond. You tell yourself, hey, I'm not perfect. I am human. The 5th tip I have for you is to label your insecurities. And more importantly, label your insecurity triggers. What do you do when you feel anxious? What do you say when you feel anxious? Where are you when you start feeling insecure? What are you doing when you feel insecure? What are you experiencing when you feel insecure? What made you feel insecure? Look at your triggers, all right? Where, what, when, how, whatever it is. Look at exactly what makes you feel scared. And I know I speak about this a lot in my videos, finding your triggers, but it's really important. If you enter a certain area, like the gym for my friend Amanda, then you will feel insecure in those areas. So try and avoid those areas. If you are more insecure when you're around a certain group of people, find a way to get out of that group of people. Literally, emotionally distance yourself from them. If you can't really escape these areas, like you feel insecure in your school, then do more things outside of your school. And when you're in your school, just keep to yourself. It's okay to be alone sometimes. And number 6, I'm going to give you a very important principle, and I want you to write this down if you've actually been taking notes and been bettering yourself. And this is something that is very important when it comes to social interactions. And the principle is what appears to be more awkward is less awkward. And what appears to be less awkward is more awkward. Less awkward equals more awkward. And more awkward equals less awkward. So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone because you are insecure. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone because you feel like you don't deserve it. It's okay. So my friend, you've made it to the end of this video. If any of whatever I said in this whole video touched you or changed the way you feel about yourself, I want you to just go down to the comments, tell me exactly how it happened. And if you really want to speak directly to me and you want to tell me your life story, I will read it. I will go through every single email. Just go to my website, link in the description below. If you want to do your personality test, I'll put the link in the description below, and all the videos I've mentioned, I will put the link in the description below. So my friend, without further ado, thank you for watching this video. God bless you.